This video demonstrates proper handle operation for the TK3 block, as well as full disassembly and reassembly of the block components. Before demonstrating operation and disassembly, let's first identify all the individual components of the TK3 block. This is the TK3 block body, which consists of two interlocking halves. This is the handle. It installs as one complete piece and is used to tighten and loosen the block. These are the two washers. They sit behind the handle. Please note, the fitted washer is always placed directly against the block, and the round washer is placed on top of it. On the top of the block is the tightening knob, which threads into the block to apply clamping force. Located inside the block is the slide pad. On the bottom of the block is the dowel nut. It aligns with the block's internal shaft and provides threaded engagement. The block mounts onto a rail, which allows positioning along the system. And finally, the retaining screw at the end of the rail prevents the block from sliding off during use. All of these components work together to secure and adjust the block during operation. To tighten the block, begin by gripping the handle as close to the base as possible. This provides improved control and leverage during operation. Rotate the handle to the right, clockwise, to begin tightening. If the handle reaches an awkward position during tightening, it may be repositioned. To reposition the handle, pull back on the handle to disengage it from the internal teeth. Be sure to hold the handle at the base and pull straight back, away from the block, to ensure it fully disengages. While holding it back, rotate the handle to a more convenient position. Release the handle to allow it to re-engage and ensure it's fully seated before applying force. Continue rotating the handle to the right, repositioning as needed until the block is securely tightened. To loosen the block, grip the handle as close to the base as possible. Rotate the handle to the left counterclockwise to begin loosening. If the handle reaches an awkward position during loosening, it may be repositioned. To reposition the handle, pull back on the handle to disengage it from the internal teeth. Be sure to hold the handle at the base and pull straight back, away from the block, to ensure it fully disengages. While holding it back, rotate the handle to a more convenient position. Release the handle to allow it to re-engage and ensure it is fully seated before continuing. Continue rotating the handle to the left, repositioning as needed until the block is fully loosened. To fully disassemble the TK3 block, start by removing it from the rail. Remove the screw at the end of the rail, then slide the block completely off. Once the block is off, remove the handle. Rotate the handle to the left, counterclockwise, until it slides fully out of the block. The handle comes out as one complete piece. Next, remove the two washers located between the handle and the block. Moving to the top of the block, rotate the tightening knob to the left until it's fully removed. Then, flip the block over so the Delrin slide pad is facing upward. Spread the two halves of the block apart and remove the Delrin pad. Flip the block back over to remove the dowel nut from the bottom of the block. All block components are now separated. Please note that there is no need to remove the dowel pins. Those must remain in place. To reassemble the TK3 block, begin by orienting the block so the bottom is facing upward. Insert the dowel nut into the block, aligning the threading with the block's shaft. While the block remains upside down, spread the two halves and place the Delrin pad into position. Once the pad is seated, close the block halves around it. Next, flip the block back over. Insert the tightening knob into the top of the block and rotate it to the right clockwise, Then, place the two washers into position where the handle will be installed. The fitted washer is always placed directly against the block first, and the round washer is placed on top of it. Insert the handle through the washers and into the block. Rotate the handle to the right clockwise until lightly threaded. Once assembled, place 2 fingers under the Delrin pad to hold it in place. Then slide the block into position on the rail and reinstall the retaining screw. Once the block is positioned on the rail, place the boot into the block. To secure the boot, begin by gripping the block handle as close to the base as possible for improved control and leverage. Rotate the handle to the right, clockwise, to begin tightening. It typically takes about 4 to 5 full turns to fully affix the boot in place. Once the handle reaches the end of its range of motion during tightening, it may be repositioned. To reposition the handle, pull back on the handle to disengage it from the internal teeth. While holding it back, rotate the handle to a more convenient position. Release the handle to allow it to re-engage. Ensure the handle is fully re-engaged before applying force. Continue rotating the handle to the right, repositioning as needed, until the boot is securely tightened. Once secured, only a half turn of the handle is needed to loosen or tighten the block for angle adjustments, allowing fine-tuning without fully loosening the boot. This concludes the handle operation, disassembly, and reassembly instructions for the TK3 block. For additional product information or support, visit nprortho.com.